everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have got this really glowy glam JLO look. Now this is all because she was in the Super Bowl this week. Let's be honest, everybody loves JLO and everyone loves her makeup, so here is my tutorial of how to get her look. The link to my Instagram is also below and I'll pop the link to my makeup course as well. So I'm going to start just by brushing the brows up. JLO's brows are never too structured and too neat, so I'm just literally brushing them up, and then I'm going to apply a small amount of a lighter eyebrow powder to my eyebrows using a thin brush. Her eyebrows are never too dark, so we're going to keep them nice and natural and nice and light. And then taking a concealer, or you can use the foundation that you're going to use, and I'm just taking it around the outside of the brows. Now I've already applied a eyelid primer to my lid, so now I'm just going to apply a brown shadow all over the lid. I'm taking it up past the socket. It's going to look quite messy at this stage, but that's fine because it's a smoky eye. So once you've applied it, you're then going to take a bigger fluff brush and just blend it all outwards. You're concentrating the colour near the socket and around the socket and just building that colour upwards. Each time you've applied it, make sure you're blending it outwards. And then taking some of the colour and applying it underneath the eye as well. Next I'm going in with some metallic colour. Now this is going to give you that sort of bronze look that she likes. I've applied it with a pencil brush all over the socket, and then with a fluff brush I'm just blending it outwards. And again, each time I'm adding a darker colour, I'm applying it nearer to the lash line on the bottom too. You want to add quite a lot of smoke onto the bottom. And then I'm just applying some metallic bronze to the inside of the eye and the corner of the eye as well, using my finger and using a small brush. Then I'm taking a darker smoky brown and I'm just applying it to the outside corners of the eye. I'm using my diagonal motion because I just want it to be nice and smoky and not too of a definite line. And again, I'm applying that right up to the lash line on the bottom. As you can see, the face gets a little bit messy, so I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and I'm just cleaning up the face around it. I'm then applying a Cover FX foundation with a blending brush all over the face. I'm using large circular motions just to make sure everything's nice and blended. Make sure you blend up to the ears, behind the ears and around the jaw as well. I'm using a colour that's quite true to my skin colour because we're going to warm it up quite a lot in a minute. So don't go too dark with this colour. And when you're doing it, be careful of your eyebrows and your eyeshadow that you've already put in place. So next I'm taking a bronzer colour and I'm just applying it underneath the cheekbones. You can see here I've done a wider bit at the bottom of the cheeks. This is to give you a lifted bone structure like she has. I've then applied it on the forehead and the chin as well. And I'm just going in with my fluff brush and just making sure it's all nice and blended. With this contour colour, I'm using quite a bronze colour rather than a contoured shadow colour because I want it to look nice and bronze rather than using it as contour. Next I'm applying a concealer. Now this is slightly lighter than the foundation I used, and I'm just taking it all the way underneath the shadow, down the sides of the nose in a little bit of a triangle shape. I'm applying some to the forehead, down the nose and also a little bit on the chin as well. And this is just going to give you a nice glow to the centre of the face. And again, take a blending brush, make sure it's a different one than you used to do the contour and the bronze, and just blend it into the face. Be careful of your eyeshadow that you've already applied, because I'm going to go in again later with a smaller buffing brush and just get it right up to the shadow nice and neatly. So don't try and do it with a big brush. So you can see here I'm just neatening up all the shadow with this smaller blending brush. And I'm making sure I'm getting it right in the corners of the eyes as well, so the shadow is nice and blended into the foundation. When it comes to the nose, I like to blend it in with my fingers a little bit as well, just to make sure it's all nice and seamless. I like to use powder contour for the nose, so I'm just taking a little bit on a small eyeshadow brush and I'm just taking it down the sides and a little bit on the bottom of the nose. And I'm doing that right the way from the brows to the base of the nose, and I'm then blending it in from side to side. You want to make sure this is really nice and blended.
Next I'm taking a cream blush. This one's quite a dewy one, and I'm just applying it to the apples of the cheeks. And again, I'm just using a buffing brush to put it on the skin. Next I'm taking the Mercier powder, and I'm just applying it underneath the eye. This is just to brighten it a bit, and also just to contour the sides of the nose. You can then buff it away with the brush. Next I'm taking some contour rocks, so this is like a bronzing pearl, and I'm applying it to the areas where we applied the bronzing contour, and this just gives it a nice bronzy look. Now I'm applying some highlighter. This is an Anastasia Beverly Hills one. I'm just applying it with a really dense brush first of all onto the cheekbones. I'm also going to add some on the bridge and the tip of the nose. Just a little bit on the top lip as well, and then underneath the brow. I'm then going to go along with a bigger brush and make sure it's all nice and blended in a second. So next I'm just applying a little bit of mascara. So this is a really wispy mascara. I don't want to add too much on, especially if you're applying a strip lash. You need it to be nice and natural. So I'm applying it to the top and the bottom before we pop the lash on. So with your lashes that you want to put on, you want to make sure that they are wispy, especially in the middle, and longer in the middle rather than the edge. And then I'm just applying it with a lash glue and some tweezers, just making sure it's really close to your natural lash line. Once this is on, I'm going to take a darker brown shadow and just smoke it into the line to make sure it's all blended with your natural lashes. Then I'm cleaning off the lips because we're going to start applying some lip liner. I'm using a brown tone one. This is KKW Nude 1. I'm just applying it all the way around the outside of the lips and blending it inwards. And once this is applied, I'm going to also add a little bit in the centre of the bottom lip. I'm then going to go in with my nude lipstick, just dabbing it on with the finger, and then applying a little bit of coral to the centre of the lips, and then applying with just a very small amount of gloss. And that's the look complete.
So thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and if anyone's got any other videos that they'd like to see, then please comment below.